My name is Brandy, and I am overweight. I have started a weight loss journey. Um, it started in August, and this is actually the first time that I have done a recording. Um, I want to talk about how it came to where I wanted to lose weight. Um, I've been on so many diets, so many lifestyle changes that none of them ever worked. I would lose the weight, probably like 30, 40 pounds, and then I would just give up and um, gain all my weight back plus a little bit more. The heaviest I've ever been has actually been at the beginning of my journey, um, which was a few pounds shy of 300 pounds. Um, I don't want to call what I'm doing a journey or a lifestyle change or a diet. Um, I like to say that it's something I'm doing for myself um, to keep me healthy. I've actually lost 60 pounds so far, which is the, I don't want to say most I've lost, but it's second to how much I've lost before. Back when I was 16 or 18, um, I did lose a whole bunch of weight. Unfortunately, I did it so unhealthy that I ended up in the hospital quite a few times. Um, I would only eat 500 calories a day. I was essentially starving myself. Um, I kept a food diary of everything that I've eaten. You know, in the morning I would have an egg and that's it. And then um, for lunch I would eat maybe a soup and a half of a sandwich. And for dinner I would have a little lean cuisine. You know, like I said, I was only eating 500 calories a day. And when I would write down my journal and at the end of the day I would add it all up, and if I had eaten over 900 calories, I would freak out, and the next day I would eat pretty much nothing. I would have popcorn all day. Um, I have been bulimic in the past. I've been anorexic. Not many people know this because it never really showed. I was so big that I wouldn't eat, but I dropped weight so fast that I had kidney stones and I had to get my gallbladder removed. And after that, I had said, you know, I lost all this weight just to be sick, not realizing that the only reason why I got sick is because I wasn't eating. Um, so I ended up in the hospital. I had to get my kidney stones taken out and my gallbladder taken out. A big thing with that also was I would drink a lot of Mountain Dew, and Mountain Dew is super bad for you. I mean, I can't even get into details with it. I try to, you know, people that I see drink Mountain Dew, I won't lecture them, but I'll say, hey, look, I used to drink a lot of Mountain Dew, and this is what happened. I I went on another diet, and again, it was another crash diet, and I lost 20 pounds. And a couple months later, I'd go back to McDonald's or go back to Burger King or KFC, and I gained all that weight back. Um, it's really difficult to know that you can do it without the surgery. Just every time you do go for it, you set yourself up for failure, and that's what I did every single time. I set myself up for failure. At a home gym, and I would exercise at least 5 hours a day, which, you know, is unhealthy for the amount of food that I was eating. I was burning like 1,000 calories a day and only taking in 100 or 500. Um, I got married about 4 years ago. It's 4 years coming up in November. And I got really comfortable with my husband and didn't watch what I ate, um, and ended up again gaining so much weight that I ended up about 300 pounds. And I stepped on the scale in August and I saw what it said, and I about cried. You know, my husband, I don't want to say he was never on board, but when I did say, hey, let's lose some weight, he wasn't into it. Um, and I think that's one of the reasons why I failed, because I wanted to have his support and his help with it, and he never really got into it until this past August when he stepped on the scale and he was really big. And he he wasn't too impressed. So I had suggested to start losing weight, not go on a diet, not do a lifestyle change, but start eating better. One of my big issues, and I know I keep going all over the place here, but I'm kind of doing this um, off the hinge. One of my big issues was I would wake up in the morning around 6 o'clock. I wouldn't eat breakfast. I wouldn't make a lunch for work. So I would go from 8 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning to the time I got out of work, which was either 4 or 8 o'clock at night. And I wouldn't eat at all. The only thing I would have throughout that day would be a Pepsi or some kind of caffeinated drink. And if I was actually really, really hungry and I wanted to eat something, I would go and get a whoopie pie or something that was so bad that I needed to eat like three of them because I was so hungry. And then I would get home after work and say, oh my God, I'm hungry. Let's go to McDonald's or Burger King. And I would usually get a meal, which was a burger, french fries, and a drink. And I'd probably get a chicken nugget or a cookie or a couple cookies because go big or go home. um, and then I would eat at home. And then 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour later, I would say, oh my God, I'm hungry. Can you walk down to the store and get me something to eat? And he would go down and, a Reese's peanut butter cup and a little microwave burger. And I would eat that as well. And shortly before I went to bed, too, to wake up the next day to do the same thing all over again. So I wasn't eating healthy, and I technically didn't eat at all. And when I did eat, I would binge eat, which is something that's very common for a lot of overweight or obese people. Sorry, my cat's meowing if you can't hear him. He wants my husband to come home, but he's at work. So we went in September to Planet Fitness to get a gym membership, and we have been going to the gym for a few months now, since September. And I've been keeping track of how much weight I've lost. I started off in the beginning counting my calories, and then, I'd add it up at the end of the day, and I'd see that, 1,800 calories. And I'd start with that panic attack and freak out like, oh my God, I've eaten so much today. Hang on a second, I'm going to go shut my cat up. Never mind, he shut himself up. Where was I? I'd say, oh my God, I've eaten so much today, I have to cut back. And then, my husband knew. I actually have the food journal that I used to keep when I was younger, and if I have time, I'll try and find it and I'll show you guys. But he would make sure that I'm eating over 1,500 calories because he doesn't want me to go back to what I used to do to drop weight so fast. And I think that's one of the things that really, how do I want to put this? I think it's one of the things that I wanted to revert back to is um, I've gained all this weight. I want to lose it so fast, and I don't want to be big anymore. And I think that's one of the things that I would set myself up for failure about. I wouldn't. It's horrible. Anyway, I've lost 60 pounds so far. I started off at a little under 300, and the journey's been tough. You know, December and November, Thanksgiving and Christmas, uh, we we would go out to eat, and we try to make a healthy choice as to where we went. We would go to Applebee's, and they have that under 500 calories menu, and we would get stuff off of there. And it was tough because we really didn't go to the gym all that much. We usually go about 5 times a week, an hour and a half to 2 hours. I spend about 50 minutes doing cardio, and then I do another half an hour on weights. And it's so fun, and it's, put your headphones on, and you just don't care about anything else but getting yourself healthy. And there's a lot of people there who support us and have seen us at our biggest there, and we've come so far to give up now. Why would I want to give up now when I've done so much and worked so hard? And it's not in the options to give up. I still have a long way to go. But I want to at least get under my biggest. I don't have a goal weight set because I've noticed that every time I say, hey, I'm going to lose some weight, I want to be this much in this amount of time. It's setting myself up for failure. So I didn't set a goal weight. What I did was each month I said, I want to lose this amount of pounds. But I'm not going to say I'm going to lose this amount of pounds, because if I don't, I'm going to beat myself up, and I'm going to start eating again. So I set myself up for these small goals, like 5 pounds a month or 10 pounds a month. And I average about 3 pounds a week. And some people say, oh my God, that's way too much. You shouldn't do that. But I drop weight so fast that it just falls off. And I'm doing it the healthy way. Like I said, I lose about 3 pounds a week, sometimes 2, so it's not a constant 3 pounds. And there have been some weeks I've stepped on the scale and I've only lost a pound, which is fine. It's a pound. I burned 3,500 calories to lose that pound. And sometimes it's discouraging. I won't lie. Losing weight is a difficult thing. But you just have to stick to it. You can't give up just because you didn't lose anything or you gained a pound. And these past couple of weeks I've been stuck in the 220s, and I haven't been able to get out of them, and it is frustrating, and I have said this. But I'm not going to give up because of it, and neither should you. If you're on a journey, don't give up. Stick to it. It's you're going to feel amazing. And I feel great, I go to the salon and I get my hair done, and after you leave, you just feel so good about yourself. And it's the same thing with going home from the gym. Once you're done, you feel good. You feel great. You go home and you, it's hard to explain. I mean, I get excited about it. Like, oh my God, I'm going to the gym today. Awesome. And not to get gross, but one of the other issues is the monthly visit. I never, ever, once in a while I would get my period. Um, but not as much as I should. I mean, I would go a year without getting it, and it's super unhealthy for you. For a woman, I mean, you guys out there that are watching this, you really don't care. But, I mean, getting it every month is what's supposed to happen, and I never did. But now that I've lost 60 pounds, you know, you get it every month and you actually feel good after. I don't know if it's just me or if anyone else there feels that way. It could just be me. It could be. But, you know, I feel great after I get it. Hell yeah, whatever. Anyway, my diet really, I don't, I keep saying diet because it's the only thing I can explain it as. I don't really have a word for what I'm doing. But, you know, it consists of, in the morning, I have cereal and I have a little toaster scrambler. You know, it's probably not the most healthy thing for you, but I'm not going to deprive myself of stuff that I like. As long as I eat it in moderation, it doesn't matter what you eat. Like, yeah, if you go out and get a pizza and eat the whole thing, I mean, that's like 3,000 calories right there. But if you have one or two slices and you go to the gym, and I mean, it balances out. Or even go for a walk. You know, I can't really do it right now because it's really, really, really cold and really, 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 really snowy. So I'm all set with going outside. And for a snack, I'll have a Nature Valley bar, usually the cashew, because they like the sweet and salty kind of deal. For lunch, on my days off from work, I'll make a panini. Or if I am working, I'll have, you know, a turkey sandwich on a bulky roll with mayo and lettuce and some spinach. And for dinner, it all depends. I have looked to see, you know, what there is. But I just kind of wing it as far as dinner because I don't want to say, oh, well, I've eaten this much today, so I'm going to cut back on dinner. I don't want to do that. So I just kind of eat. And then every Thursday, my husband and I step on the scale. And we write it down on our little calendar how much we've lost. But, you know, I don't let it discourage me. I really try to say, hey, so what, you've only lost a pound, or hey, so what, you only lost 3 pounds, you're going to be able to do it again next week, and if you don't do it again next week, that's fine. It's perfectly fine. It's been difficult. It really has. You know, I have my mom who loves to cook for us, and she'll come home, we'll go to her house, I should say, and she'll have like brownies or ice cream, and I am not gonna say no to ice cream. I love ice cream and candy bars and stuff like that, but I don't eat nearly as much as I want. If I want a Snickers or a Reese's, I will go and buy one because I'm not gonna deprive myself from what I'm craving. As long as you do it in moderation, it does not matter. You can go out and get a Snickers bar, cut it in half, there you go. Your craving's done. One of the things that I like, I go to the store and I'll get a bag of little mini Hershey bars. I have some out in my kitchen, and they're sugar-free, but they're still satisfying, and I'll go and I'll have one. If I want another one, I'll go and have another one. They're only 35 calories. It's fine. I do look a lot on the labels to see what I'm putting in my body. If it's to the point where I'm like, oh my god, there's a little bit too much saturated fat, I'm not going to eat it. But if I want it, I'll get it. It'll probably sit in my freezer for a while, or my fridge for a while, but I'll get it. And then eventually when I say, hey, I did this much today, you know, I worked my ass off at the gym, I'm going to eat that Snickers bar, or I'm going to drink that chocolate milk. Speaking of lunch, it's noon now, and I'm getting hungry. So this is where I leave. I will be posting frequently. So hopefully, you know, you guys subscribe to my channel. I am going to be posting a little before and after. I don't want to say before and after because I'm not quite done my thing. We just start calling it a thing. I'm not quite done, but I will post my before and after pictures from when I was almost 300 pounds to where I was in November, which was 230 something pounds. You know, I'll post a bunch of pictures so that you guys can see. And that's all I have today. I'll talk to you later. Bye.